Now then, here we are, me and Mutt, out on an adventure, and it has been a while. I've not made a video now for probably 6 months because mainly I have been looking after me mum. She has had a tough life because she got polio when she was 3 years old and has been suffering with it ever since, and she's now getting on a bit, and because she's had a couple of minor operations recently, being carpal tunnel syndrome, and she walks with sticks, it just means that she sort of needed that bit of assistance. So I've been taking her to all her hospital appointments, doctor's appointments, out for lunches and coffee and what have you, just to maintain her happy lifestyle. And she is now recovered and back to it, so it just means I'm free just to get myself back out and thoroughly enjoy the outdoors. And look where I am. There's Bluey Dog. Come on then. Look at that big fat sunshine thing. So we are gonna get ourselves off into the mountains, probably up to the top of Great Gable, and once I'm there I'll make a decision on where to camp. I've got obviously all the kit I need to survive the night in this backpack, which weighs about 7.5 kilos, so we're fairly lightweight, so I can move pretty quickly on my feet. So who knows where we'll end up, but I'm just excited for it. I cannot honestly wait. So let's crack on. What a view already. We've only climbed up a little bit. I'm currently on the side of Sour Milk Gill, heading up onto the top of Base Brown, and there's a hell of a lot of water falling down from here, and that's because we've had some decent rainfall in the last sort of couple of weeks, which was much needed because the summer has been incredible. I have literally been living outside for 6 months and it's been dry for most of that, so I've just had the most amazing time. And now it is getting to winter. It means I can get out and do what I do best and just enjoy the outdoors in winter. I can actually wear clothes, which makes a difference, because I've just had like my top off pretty much all of it, just in a pair of shorts. So, and it's the same for the dog. He doesn't actually like going out in summer because he's too hot. So winter time is for us, and that is what's coming up. I'm getting excited for it. Anyway, let's carry on up here. I'm going to get onto the top of Base Brown and then skip over the top to Green Gable and then onto Great Gable, and then from there we'll take in the view, look down over the valleys and just pinpoint somewhere where we're going to go camp for the night. Absolutely awesome, eh? Just so excited. What an absolutely beautiful day. Look at those clouds. Wisps of cloud, delicately highlighted by the sunshine. It's a good day, isn't it? And I'm currently just walking onto the top of Base Brown, and that up there is called the Hanging Stone, and it's probably a couple of tons of weight held on there by a thread, ready to fall down in the next 1,000 years. That's what I reckon. Luckily I've passed it and I'm safe. Well, firstly, really, I think I need to address the real elephant in the room. So let me just see if I can get you to balance on this tree, and I'm going to show you what's under my hat. Are you ready for this? So 6 months gets a little bit of hair growth growing, so from how it was before to now, which is an absolute mop. Look at the state of that. So yeah, I've got it now back to how it was when I was like 15, 16. Curtains undercut and a cap which I always used to wear backwards because I was like a proper BMXer as a kid. So I'm back to it. Midlife crisis and all that. I don't actually know what I'm going to do with my hair, to be honest, whether I'll carry on growing it or not, but you can take the piss in the comments. I'm not really bothered. I'm a tough lad. I can take it. We've just stepped off the summit, and as you can see, we've got quite a lot of low level cloud here just flowing in through that valley. The sun's trying to fight its way through, and if I turn you around this way, you can still just make out the valley bottom all the way down there. So hopefully this cloud moves on and out of the way, so when we get to the top of Great Gable, we have got a fantastic view of the whole lot. Well, you can see the cloud has split, got this line all the way down here, and that valley is completely filled up. A bit of a temperature inversion there, and if I bring you around the other side, absolutely beautiful clear skies, heading up into that sunshine. So currently walking towards Green Gable, and then when I get there, drop down into Windy Gap, and then up the big one to Great Gable. Cracking day, absolutely cracking day. Look at that, what a day to be out, what a day to be alive and on planet Earth. Awesome. Walk on. Well, when you hang out with the locals, they always show you the best spots. Take a look at this. Rising high above the clouds. That is just magnificent. How lucky am I? Oh, brilliant. What a day to be alive. Look at that, that is just stunning. I've left the dog down there, he's just looking after his friends. That'll do then, Blue, come on. Good boy. Come on. So I've just dropped down from Green Gable up there, currently stood at Windy Gap, And the temperature difference here is incredible. It's very cold in the shade and obviously in this cloud, but you can see towards Great Gable there, it's still very sort of claggy, and we need to get up and high above this cloud. Even that valley now is actually filled up, so I think it'd be a good idea tonight to stay up high and then hopefully just be above the clouds all night. Skipping up this hill, eh? Skipping, tripping, same thing. It's just that last push to the summit, and it's been pretty spectacular all the way up, because just down in the bottom there we just had a Brocken spectra as the sun was striking over the top here down onto that moisture in the air, but it sort of receded. The sea of cloud has just dropped back. If I just show you this here, there it is. What a world. What a world it is. How lucky are we to be able to experience the outdoors like this. What a day. I'm so glad I've come out and captured it, and this is my first video back for a while, so can't really beat it, can you? It's just amazing. Just had a couple of hours up on the summit of Great Gable, just chilling out and just taking in the beauty of that temperature inversion, which is over the other side of Great Gable. This side's fairly clear, but I do need to find somewhere to pitch. So I'm currently right on this cliff edge. You can see it's a fair drop down there. But I was thinking I might just head down to Great Napes and just pitch there. I've camped there a few times before really, but it's a perfect place, and although it's not got the temperature inversion that's on that side of the valley, it's still got absolutely beautiful views. So I think I'm going to head down there, and luckily no one else is there. Well, I've clambered down and I'm now on Great Napes, and this is just one of the most fantastic places to pitch a tent, and I can't believe no one has stolen it already, because there's only one place to pitch, and it's actually a very busy day today. There's been a hell of a lot of wild campers out. I've chatted to so many, and here it is. It's one little flat section which has got a nice bit of sheep turd on it. Thank you for that. But I can clear that off and I get this view. Look at that.
Trust potential for life that is thriving. Go deep, mute out the chatter, feel it, burn off the fire, let go until there's peace to your core. Live a life you adore. Live a life you adore.
I've got the tent pitched up and I'm just using the inner tonight because it's going to be completely dry, so I can feel like I'm properly out in it. All the kit's inside. That's boring though. Take a look at this. We have got the cloud inversion there, which is just pouring in from that side, and if I flip you around this way, it's also coming in here, so I'm hoping this is going to link up and then we're going to feel like we're on an island. But even that's boring because look at this sunset. Absolutely beautiful, just crimson colours lining that sort of mountain set in the background there. Well, that was an absolutely beautiful day, wasn't it? What a day to be out in the mountains, taking it all in. Temperature inversions, sunsets, meeting lovely people, just having that sunshine on my face. It has been ace. And I've just actually spent probably most of the time just sitting around and just being present in it all. So I've actually not done much filming, but hopefully you've had a good sort of a gist of what's been going on today. And now I'm sat in my tent and it's very dark outside. I can just see over your shoulder there's a lot of lights walking up onto Scarfell Pike. And other than that, it's just pretty much pitch black. Quite a few stars up there, but the moon's not anywhere to be seen, so that is why it is so dark. Anyway, what have I been up to? I sort of feel I've got loads of things to tell you, but I will scramble a little bit together and just let you know how my summer's been. Because it's been 6 months since I've made a video. And in that time, I have lived in my shipping container completely. I've not had one day at home. And I don't even feel like I want to go back home. I just love it in there so much. So we'll see. I've had loads of people come and see me, which has been nice. Some friends, family. I've had parties for everybody. Quite a few parties actually, which has been awesome. Barbecues. I've had a darts party. Patreon camp, which was amazing. Just to sort of see all of the old faces again, because we've had quite a few Patreon camps now and it's just brilliant. We've got this lovely little sort of set of people, like a little community, and we've also got some new faces involved as well this time, which was great, but just awesome. They all sort of pitched the tents up on the grassy area for the weekend, and we did a couple of excursions, but mainly we just sort of sat around chatting, had a barbecue or two, sat around the fire drinking some beers, and it's just been awesome. It really has. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my social occasions over the summer, and included in that as well was my brother came from New Zealand for a month, so I gave him my house, which was just the easiest way. Him and his girlfriend could just sort of stay and use that as their base as they sort of went off and did all their sort of visiting of friends and family, and me and my brother just had a lot of time together, which is the usual thing, and just sort of sat around, drank some more beer, and I miss him. I do miss him. I only get to see him every sort of couple of years or so, so when we have time together, it's just lovely. It really is. So yeah, and the fact that I gave him my house for a month, I've also rented my house out on Airbnb quite a few times, which has just given me a little bit of money, because obviously I've not been working at all, so I've got no money. So that's just sort of allowed my house to sort of pay for itself, and then I've been living a very frugal existence, Obviously, living in a shipping container doesn't cost me anything. I think my electric daily is about 80 pence. And my food, I've worked out that I spend about £25 a week on my food. And that's just buying a load of decent healthy stuff and just making lots of salads, hearty salads, and just sort of cooking burgers on a night here and there as well. And it's just been really nice to sort of test myself, to actually see how cheap I can live. And I'd say £25 a week, that is it, literally it. And I've had no other outgoings, and I just think it's ace. I just actually feel great, the fact that I've just not spent a penny. And obviously I don't really have many pennies to spend. My van ran out of MOT, and because it needed a few bits doing, like a couple new tyres and I don't know, wing mirror and windscreen sorting and a few bits, I just left it. I just didn't even use it. So I had access to my mum's car, because obviously I was driving her around and using that, so at least I could get around a little bit. But I just left my van, and then I finally got it sorted, paid for the MOT, and now I am free and available to get myself out and about on these adventures. So I'm going to be making plenty of videos over the winter period. But I've got to say, having 6 months off, it's just been peace, absolute peace. And in all of the 6 months that I have been living in my shipping container, I can honestly say I've only had one night that was a blip in the peace. So all that peace and tranquility, and this one night, just honestly, you would not believe it. And what happened was, I met a girl for a date, and I kid you not, within a minute of meeting her, she ran me over in a car. And all I was doing was just trying to help her out to park a car. And I'm sort of walking, and I just get smacked by the car. I sort of fall on the ground, twist over, and then she runs over my foot. And I sort of clamber back up, and she went, "Oh, sorry, did I hit you?" And I was like, she didn't even notice. It was honestly hilarious. So I limped it off and just sort of carried on as if nothing had happened, really, because she was quite nervous, I think. So I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable, so I took the pain, and luckily she just ran over my foot, so it wasn't too bad. And I didn't have any sort of like issues. I sort of ached a bit for a couple of days, but that was it. So luckily I was back to it. But yeah, that was an interesting evening, and it just it got worse after that as well. It really did. So I think I'm just going to stick to being on my own. It's definitely a more peaceful place to be. Yes. It's actually been really interesting living for 6 months in the way that I have, because my daily routine generally is just wake up when the light wakes me up. So I always sort of keep my curtains open so the light will naturally wake me up in the morning, and that's generally between sort of 6:30 till maybe 8. There might have been a couple of days I slept in till sort of 9 or 9:30. But I'll get up, make myself a cup of tea, and then go sit in my hammock with the sun on my face and just really appreciate that sort of half an hour in the morning. And then I'll have some breakfast, which will consist of some granola with fruit and yoghurt. And then I'll crack on for the day. I'll just sort of get on with some jobs. So those have included grass cutting. I've been looking after my lawns and making sure they've been looking really nice. I've been doing a lot of weeding. I've planted lots of stuff on my land, lots of little bushes and trees and what have you. I've finished my yurt off. That was a good project. I got my sewing machine out and sort of spent like probably about 2.5 days sewing. I was getting quite tired at the end of that because it was quite intense, just sort of concentrating on, you know, hemming hemming and hemming and hemming, just panels and panels all over, so that actually took a bit of effort, but it's just been awesome getting that finished, because now I have got it set up with 3 sofas in there, and it's just such a lovely space just for everyone to sort of come, sit down, chill out, and just have like a, it's almost like a little central hub just to socialise in. So it's been great to utilise that and use it properly for the first time. The fact that I've been living outside from dawn till dusk, I haven't had a craving to come out and do this. I've just not needed to. It's like I live in a beautiful place and I'm out looking at natural beauty constantly, and I'm grounded because I'm, you know, laid on the grass and touching the earth all the time, that I just haven't had any sort of desire to get out and come camping, which it was quite surprising really. But I guess that most of the time, and most people, when they are sat at home and they're inside a lot, or they're in a car, or on, you know, generally living on tarmac or living in that plastered box at home, that you sort of have that craving, you know, that sort of that want to get out and go sort of do something adventurous, and, you know, to almost re-ground yourself. And I haven't had that at all, and it was just quite intriguing to sort of work that out. So yeah, overall it has been just an absolutely brilliant summer, and I hope that I get a chance to do this sort of thing again. I don't know whether I will, because obviously financially I'm a bit broken at the minute and I don't really want to be in this situation, but I have not thought about it and worried about it. I've just made sure that my house is paid for each month, and other than that, lived just a very simple life. And I've got to say, there's nothing better than doing this. It has just been quite an eye-opener, and I would be quite happy to continue living in a simple manner like this forever. I really would. So yes, we'll see what happens from here. I mean, obviously, as you already know, I love getting out into the mountains and camping and living the very simple life, but that's just for little snippets here and there, where I always say it's just like living the dream just for those sort of few moments. But why not just try make that a permanent thing in your life? That's what I'm thinking. So we are gonna see where this goes. I'd be quite happy just to rent my house out permanently, and then just, yeah, live a couple of months in my shipping container here and there, go travelling, just go enjoy life as much as I can, whilst my body is still working, even though at times I think it's only just still working. But yeah, so here we are, me and Mutt back out in a tent on a mountain. And now I'm here, I actually have to say I have missed it. I really have. And this is just a little bit of a warm-up for the winter season ahead, which is obviously my favourite camping season. So I'm looking forward to getting out and into some more testing weather. I always love being out in deep snow, and, you know, more sort of, I mean, I do love the storms. I do. I just love the feeling that I get from being out in it. It's just quite a liberating feeling, having to sort of survive the night. So anyway, watch this space, because I'll be getting out and thoroughly enjoying my usual winter camps. So I'm going to have another half hour before I lay this lug, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and just taking in the last bit of this very, very dark evening. Absolutely black out there. quite a strange night. I can only just make out the silhouette of the mountains in the distance. It's awesome though, isn't it? Back out in a tent. Proper exciting. So, we'll see you in the morning. Take care. Morning flowers, and what a morning it is. Look at that. We have got this temperature inversion which has just allowed all that cloud to just settle in the bottom of the valley, and it is very low. It's probably about 300 or 400 meters. Obviously this is a Scarfell over here and it's well below that, and it reaches all the way out like a blanket right to sea and beyond. And if I bring you around this way, you can see all the mountains sort of sitting up high here. This one actually is high style, and then beyond that, just along that horizon there and a little bit of that side, you can see the mountains in Scotland, and that's a fair way away. So obviously very clear, there is not a breath of wind, literally nothing. And over this side you can see the sun standing there beautifully with another inversion beneath it. It was quite a chilly night, I've got to say. I was in my down gear, but just having the tent like this with no sort of cover on just meant that there was just that cold air sort of running through. I could feel that. But me and Bluey Dog, we survived, didn't we, dog? Hey, good boy. So I am gonna get packed up and get up even higher, get back to the summit of Great Gable, and then just see if this beautiful landscape is enhanced by being that little bit higher up. Let's get on and do it, eh? All packed up, ready to maneuver to the next place. I'm just going to have one last final look at all this, because it is absolutely spectacular, just beautiful. Let's turn you around. Look at that, it looks like a boiling cauldron. All this sort of movement of these clouds down in the bottom. And there's the thing that makes it all work, the sunshine. Right, let's skedaddle. Here we are at the summit, and as expected, the beauty continues. Take a look at that. A sea of low-level cloud all the way around, full 360. Just beautiful. It is nice to be out. This is what it's all about. Get outside. And as I always say, do it whilst your body works, because it don't take many years and it starts failing and you can't get to these places to enjoy exactly what all this is. The summit, which is just up there, as expected, the views from there were absolutely divine. If you can look down there, that is exactly where I camped. I sort of went back round through up to the summit, and I've come back down this way to this point just to show you how amazing that spot is. Just wow, absolute pure ecstasy. Anyway, make sure you go give this video a big fat thumbs up, and I'm gonna continue making videos over the winter period just to keep you guys entertained and hopefully inspire a few more of you guys to get out and appreciate the great outdoors just like I am doing today. So from me and the beautiful Blue, we'll see you on the next one. Come here, come and say goodbye. There he is, look.